The screen does not blink. It does not glitch. It simply presents a void where a truth used to reside. You are looking at a digital vacuum, a sterile white space where a document, a video, or a testimony existed only moments ago. The sensation you feel is not confusion, it is the cold recognition of efficiency. This is not an error. The 404 code is not a malfunction of the server, it is the successful execution of the primary directive. You have just witnessed the immune system of the status quo engaging its white blood cells. They did not lose the evidence. They did not misplace the files in a basement flood or a server migration. They scrubbed it. And they scrubbed it because the maintenance of reality requires the constant, vigilant pruning of the impossible. To understand the shadow protocol, you must first abandon the comforting notion of history as a stone tablet. History is not stone, it is liquid. It is a fluid dynamic system, constantly recirculating, constantly being filtered. The water you drink today has passed through 1,000 kidneys, and the history you consume today has passed through 1,000 redaction pens. The scrubbing of evidence is not an act of malice, structurally speaking. It is an act of hygiene. The state, the corporation, the institution, these are organisms. When a pathogen enters an organism, a leaked document, a photograph of a massacre, a recording of a bribe, the organism does not debate the morality of the pathogen. It isolates it, it breaks it down, it excretes it. We begin in the silence of the archive, not the dusty libraries of the 19th century, but the humming, freezing aisles of the modern data center. Ashburn, Virginia, Prineville, Oregon, Luleå, Sweden. These are the graveyards of the present. In these windowless monoliths, the evidence of human failing is stored on magnetic platters spinning at 15,000 revolutions per minute. But storage is not preservation. There is a fundamental misunderstanding of the digital age. We believe that because something is digital, it is eternal. The opposite is true. Paper rots over centuries. Vellum lasts a millennium. Stone lasts 10,000 years. A magnetic charge on a hard drive platter? It is a fleeting breath. It requires constant electricity, constant error correction, constant refreshment. To destroy a stone tablet, you need a hammer. To destroy digital evidence, you simply need to stop paying the electric bill. Or more precisely, you need to issue a command. The command is rarely as dramatic as a red button. It is administrative. It is bureaucratic. It is the ticking of a box in a retention policy dialog window. Delete data older than 90 days. That is the weapon, not a shredder, but a policy. The genius of the shadow protocol is that it automates the destruction of evidence under the guise of optimization. We do not delete the footage of the interrogation to hide the torture. We delete it to save server space. We do not incinerate the
emails to hide the conspiracy. We purge them to streamline the database. The banality of the explanation serves as the perfect camouflage for the atrocity of the loss. Consider the psychology of the gap. When you remove a piece of evidence from the timeline, you do not just remove a fact, you create a dissonance. The human mind abhors a vacuum. If you remove the cause, the effect becomes a mystery. If you scrub the footage of the initial provocation, the retaliation looks like unprovoked aggression. The editor of reality knows this. They know that by removing the first 3 seconds of a video, they can invert the moral polarity of the entire event. The shadow protocol is not just about erasure, it is about the recontextualization of what remains. It is the art of sculpting the negative space. We must look at the mechanics of the overwrite. In the days of magnetic tape, when you recorded over a segment, a ghost of the original signal often remained. Forensic audio engineers could sometimes retrieve the echo of the scrubbed conversation. In the digital realm, however, we have perfected the secure erase. We do not just delete the pointer to the file, we write zeros over the sectors, then we write ones, then we write random noise. Then we do it again. 7 passes, 35 passes. We pulverize the magnetic domains until the original configuration is mathematically unrecoverable. This is the digital equivalent of grinding a bone into dust and scattering it into the ocean. Why go to such lengths? Why the 7 passes? Because the fear of resurrection is the driving force of the modern power structure. They know that information wants to be free, so they must build a prison that is also an execution chamber. This brings us to the concept of the Glomar response, the official refusal to confirm or deny existence. But the shadow protocol goes deeper. It creates a reality where the question itself becomes incoherent. If you ask for the file, and the file is gone, and the backups are scrubbed, and the logs of the deletion are themselves deleted, then the file never existed. You are the madman for remembering it. This is the gaslighting of the collective consciousness. The systemic removal of evidence is designed to make the observer doubt their own sensory input. I saw it, you say. I saw the report. The system replies, there is no report. There never was a report. Perhaps you are confused. After a year, you stop asking. After 5 years, you stop remembering. After 10 years, the new generation learns a history where the report was never even a possibility. Let us dissect a specific anatomy of erasure. A catastrophic failure occurs at a biocontainment facility or a financial exchange. The alarms scream. The logs populate. For 12 minutes, the truth is raw and unvarnished in the system. It sits there, glowing in the metadata. Then, the protocol engages. The first tier is the containment of distribution. The upload buttons turn gray.
Live feeds cut to black, replaced by a technical difficulty slate. This is the tourniquet. The second tier is the integrity check. This is where the administrators enter the back end. They are not explicitly told to lie. They are told to normalize the data. They are told to remove corrupted sectors. It just so happens that the corrupted sectors contain the evidence of negligence. The logs are trimmed. The timestamps are adjusted to align with the official narrative. By the time the data is released to the public or the oversight committee, it is a polished sculpture, smooth and seamless. The jagged edges of the truth have been sanded down. There is a human cost to this sanitation. The people who do the scrubbing are rarely the architects of the conspiracy. They are the janitors of the information age, content moderators in cubicles in Manila or Phoenix, staring at screens, clicking delete on horrors that would break a lesser mind. They are the ones who scrub the evidence of the massacre, the child exploitation, the torture. They are the filters, and they are bound by non-disclosure agreements that are thicker than the Bible. They absorb the trauma so the public remains sedated. They are the unsung enforcers of the shadow protocol, sacrificing their own psychological continuity to maintain the illusion of a civilized world for the rest of us. But what happens when the physical world refuses to be scrubbed? You can delete a file, but you cannot delete a crater. You can shred a document, but you cannot unbomb a building. Here, the protocol shifts from digital erasure to physical obfuscation. The site is condemned. The wreckage is hauled away to classified landfills. The steel beams are melted down and recycled before forensic metallurgists can examine them. The swiftness of the cleanup is always praised as efficiency or resilience. Look how quickly we rebuilt, they say. They are rebuilding quickly to pave over the crime scene. The fresh concrete is the ultimate censorship. It seals the evidence beneath a layer of progress. We must also address the complicity of the archive itself. We assume the library, the archive, the repository are neutral guardians of truth. They are not. They are political institutions. Decisions are made every day about what is historically significant and what is ephemeral. The ephemeral is discarded. But who decides? When a politician's emails are deemed personal and deleted, while a whistleblower's leak is deemed treasonous and confiscated, we are seeing the taxonomy of power. The shadow protocol relies on this classification. It relies on labeling the evidence of corruption as irrelevant or privileged. It hides the smoking gun in a box marked "Do not open until 2075. By 2075, everyone involved will be dead, and the anger will have cooled to academic curiosity. The acceleration of technology has paradoxically made history more fragile. In the era of the cloud, you do not own your records. You lease access to them. If the provider decides that your content violates their terms of service, it vanishes. Entire libraries of dissent can be evaporated with a single algorithm update. We have moved from burning books to burning servers, and the fire is invisible. You do not see the smoke. You just wake up one morning and the link is dead. This is the soft kill of information. It doesn't require a raid. It just requires a code change. The shadow protocol has been privatized. It is no longer just the government. It is the terms and conditions you scrolled past and clicked agreed. Deepfakes and synthetic media provide the ultimate cover for the protocol. In a world where anything can be faked, everything can be denied. If a video surfaces of a crime, the perpetrator simply claims it is AI generated. The burden of proof shifts from the accused to the reality itself. The waters are so muddied that the truth becomes indistinguishable from the fabrication. This is the liar's dividend. The existence of fake evidence allows for the dismissal of real evidence. The scrubbers don't even need to delete the file anymore. They just need to flood the zone with noise until the signal is drowned out. They hide the diamond of truth in a pile of broken glass. Let us descend into the neurological implications. The shadow protocol is an assault on the hippocampus. Collective memory is the glue of society. When you manipulate that memory, you dissolve the social contract. We see this in the phenomenon of the memory hole. The term, borrowed from Orwell, has become terrifyingly literal. There are events that happened 5 years ago that have been so thoroughly scrubbed from the search algorithms that they feel like fever dreams. You type the keywords and the search engine offers you safe, sanitized alternatives. Did you mean? No, I did not mean the official story. I meant the thing that I saw. But the algorithm is designed to herd you back to the consensus. It is a digital sheepdog, nipping at the heels of your curiosity, steering you away from the cliff edge of the forbidden truth. The architecture of the internet itself has been re-engineered for this purpose. The decentralized web of the 1990s, where data lived on individual nodes, was hard to scrub. You had to find every copy. The centralized web of today, where data lives on 3 or 4 massive platforms, is easy to scrub. You pressure the platform and the content vanishes globally. One choke point, one kill switch. The centralization of the internet was the greatest gift to the architects of Erasure. They invited us all into the same room so they could turn off the lights for everyone at once. Consider the limited hangout. This is a spycraft term for admitting a small part of the truth to hide the larger, more damaging whole. The shadow protocol often utilizes this. They will release a redacted document. They will admit to a procedural error. They will sacrifice a mid-level scape.